Today I'm going to talk about some of the top trends of the fall winter season this year. And there are a lot that I want to talk about. There's some that typically in the past when I've done it, I've like talked about some of the ones that were still trending from last season and like so spring, summer season, and that are still trending now, or from the previous fall winter season. Um, Also talked about colors, things like that. But I feel like I just want to go through them today. I think that'll be the best method of attack. So we're just going to go ahead and get started because there's a lot to talk about. One of the biggest trends that I've seen so far is like a mixture of basically like Victorian style ruffles, like how they tie the bows, little pussy bows, or like ascots, things like that. All of that has been very like that's been one of the biggest trends that I've seen across like various different shows. I'm quite interested to see and like see how I guess like obviously well so a lot of times when things are trending, those are the things that are in the stores, things that's easier to find and buy and everything like that. So I'm interested to see how they make it like more wearable. Well, not that I feel like it's unwearable, but like how everybody like chooses to style this in their everyday looks. And also I feel like with like I feel like a lot of the like vampire or like I don't know, those type of vibes have been popular anyways. Like one of the previous years we had dark romance as a theme, as a trend. And so I'm not surprised, but I am interested to see how people, style this. For me, I feel like I normally, well, I won't say normally, but for a while I didn't like ruffles, and now ruffles have grown on me. It just depends on the vibe. But I have always liked like a shirt with a tie, like, a tie on it. And I feel like I kind of like the vibe of it. I don't really have a lot of things in my wardrobe right now, and I don't see myself going out to specifically go and purchase this so that I can execute the look. But I do think it's a really cool and interesting trend. I'm curious to see how it's styled this fall and winter season. A few that I will talk about that we saw last season that I'll just go past really quick so that we don't have to talk about them for too long. One of them is sheer. I feel like for like the past 2, 3, 4 years, like sheer has been trending. So it's still trending, and we've seen sheer many different ways. To like even like organza like style outerwear. So you can see like what's underneath, which I feel like is a cool way to do it. Of course, like a lot of just slinky type of like bedroomy type of clothing. Also, florals. Florals are obviously we're trending spring summer, but they're still trending kind of in a more moody way. I would say like in a lot more like darker colors or paired with darker colors. Not always, but a lot of them I feel like that's how they're bringing it into the fall winter season by adding like deep color tones to go with the florals and like the fabrics that they're choosing. And so I think that yeah, just like a lot of winter florals is also something that's a big trend this year. But going back to like the sheer vibe and like all of that, there is still a trend when it comes to lace. Lace is still a big trend right now. um and I think just in general, like seeing kind of relaxed, like loose fitting. I think it's since like the whole athleisure thing in like 2020 kind of also brought out the whole like undergarment wear, like how we saw that they were doing like the little skinny mini booty short panty like situation. That is still like I wouldn't say it's trending, but like there we still saw it a little bit on the runway. But yeah, definitely like slip dresses and like little lacy numbers, things like that. So that's still very trendy. Silk and satins, things like that, like kind of sheeny materials are still trending. So yeah, a lot of that was on the runway, and definitely just I guess being more comfortable wearing the types of things that you'd wear inside the house, wearing it, having it in a more wearable way outside of the house. So it kind of depends as well, because I don't feel like I feel like maybe the way you would wear it in your house is a little bit different than how you would wear it out, if that makes sense. But it's like the pieces are multifunctional. Another thing that I have been seeing a lot of, which I like, is like maxi and duster outerwear, or even just like yeah, I guess I'll say outerwear. It's mainly like with coats and cardigans, things like that. Of course, a lot of like maxi skirts and dresses and things like that as well. But yeah, when it comes to like the outerwear, I love seeing like something that like touches the floor, like right above the floor. That's like something that I really like. Kind of just over dramatic outerwear is something that I really like to see. So that's something that I was excited to see on the runway. And there was a lot of it. I would say that there was probably something like that in almost every, collection. And I mean, obviously, it's not like a surprise for that to be trending during the fall winter time. A lot of times, places it's snow. I mean, not where I'm from, but like it's snowing, it's cold. You need, you know, a nice fitting warm jacket, and why not have something that is actually cute and stylish, and that makes a statement. So that's something that I was really excited to see more than once on the runway. Okay, I want to talk about a couple of colors that I saw on the runway that stood out to me. There were a couple articles and things saying that like just vibrant colors in general were trending, which I somewhat agree with, but there are a couple of colors in particular that I feel like stood out to me and that I feel like are going to be the main colors of the season. And those colors are red. We had like last year like that deep like cherry red kind of color that was trending, and I'm sure people will still wear that. I feel like there's probably a range of hues can go into this trend, but I feel like the red that I was seeing the most is like a bright vibrant red, like Crayola red. So that is a color that I think is going to be trending a lot. Of course, the people that got all their cherry red stuff from last season are going to probably still be wearing those things, but I think that a more like vibrant color of red will be you know everywhere in this fall winter season. I almost said spring summer. Also, another color that I think is going to be popular again is green. Again, last season it was like brat green. I was like, everybody was talking about brat green or whatever, like basically like a highlighter, like lime green color. So I feel like this season is going to be more like a olive green, like a martini green, but also again, I feel like it's going to be in like a range of different hues, like some mint pistachio green, some lime greens. Probably the same people that were wearing those last season are going to have those out, but I feel like that like in between like martini, like dirty martini, olive green, like I feel like that's the color, or like Gucci green. I feel like that's the color that is going to be like the most prevalent. Also, last color that I feel like is going to be huge, or that I saw a lot as well, is like that deep purple, like plum color, which I love. Such a beautiful color. Um, and now that I'm thinking about it, I only have like two things in my closet that's this color, so I probably need to get a few more things. But this is a color that was trending, or that I saw a lot, and I love to see it. I would love to see more of this in the stores, like more things in this color that is available for us to shop. And I highly encourage. I feel like it's a color that looks great on multiple different skin tones and multiple different, um, yeah, just skin tones. And I think that it would be a great like color to style as well, because I feel like it also goes well with a lot of other colors. Like I feel like you could do red and purple together, which is hilarious because I was thinking about doing red and purple for my Christmas tree this year, so stay tuned for vlogmas in the future. But yeah, when it comes to just styling that like deep plum color with other colors, I feel like it goes so well. Like, you could do like a dark blue, you could do it obviously with any like neutral colors, but I think blue, red, even green, I feel like it goes well with so many other colors. So I'm really excited that this is a trending color, and I'm excited to see how people style it. Something that I was surprised to see that was trending is like the Bermuda shorts, or like capris. Well, it's kind of a mixture of both. Like I saw some that were like more like capris, and some that are more like shorts, or like Bermuda shorts. And I was pretty surprised to see that. But that is something that I did see a good bit of, and something that is trending right now. I'm curious to see how, I guess like the oversized vibe, which I will say that's also trending, like oversized in general. But when it comes to this shorts or like capri vibe, I'm interested to see like again how people style it, because I feel like it can definitely lean more masculine, but I like the ways where I saw it kind of like being softened a little bit. So I'm interested to see how people style that. But going into the oversized um trend, I think oversized, obviously, like I said, I feel like just voluptuous, big, dramatic, oversized types of things have been trending for a while now. But in particular, there have been a lot of layering, yeah, oversized, just like, broad shoulders, things like that. Um, Also a lot of capes. Capes, I feel like pretty cool trend that I'm seeing happening a lot as well. Layering, loose fitting, like flowy fabrics and like gathering and things like that. Also when it comes to oversized, I would say like structured hips and things like that, like kind of like just um it being like the hips being exaggerated. I feel like that's something that, again, not something new, but is something that I guess they're leaning a little bit more into, but I feel like in a more wearable way. Like I feel like what we were seeing in the previous seasons, it was a little bit more like in a novelty way, or like kind of, you know, like not wearable. And I feel like now the way they're doing it is like on a smaller scale, but it's still obviously exaggerating it, but not in a, yeah, not in like a cheeky type of way, if that makes sense. On the topic of like hips and cinched and all of that, I feel like another one that I saw a lot was like corsetry and belts, like double belts, triple belts, quadruple belts. That was something that I saw a lot. And again, I think this is something that um I mean, a woman likes to accentuate her curves and like, accentuate her waist and everything like that, make her waist look tiny. And obviously, this is a way to do it. I think with the when it comes to like multiple belts, that has been a trend that has come back, and people are like experimenting with in a different and like more modern way, which I feel like is really fun. I like seeing people do like double belts and stuff like that, and even just like other little quirky things like having like the waistline on like a jean, like having like a double waistline, basically things like that. Just been interesting ways to kind of accentuate the waist, or like bring interest to, like bring your eye to that part, of a shape. So I feel like that's interesting. But yeah, lots of corsets and belts and things like that. Everything was very cinched in when it comes to like they put a coat on top. If they put a coat on, it was always like a belt on it. For the most part, there was a belt on almost every coat. Of course, there were some where they were open and everything like that. They want you to see the dramaticism of it, but yeah, I saw that a lot as well. I know I talked a little bit about like sheeny fabrics and like silks and flowy fabrics, things like that. But just honing in a little bit further, I want to talk about like metallics. Metallics were a big thing that I saw a good bit of, just not in like, well, some places there was like, like the classic like gold and like silver metallics, but I feel like in not like a tacky way, because I feel like sometimes like back in the day it would be like those metallics that people would buy would just be super like, I don't want to say tacky because tacky is not the right word, but like, you just have like those pink straight pants that are like pink metallic, and like there's no like real, I guess, pattern or interest to it, which I feel like I still like that type of stuff, if it's styled correctly. But I feel like they were mixing metallics with like patterns and things like that, and trying to like play with it in different ways. Also, just like glittery, sheeny things in general, like embellishments, having like little things that are like bedazzled or sequins, yeah, things like that to kind of like bring a little bit of that oomph. And I think this, I mean, very popular that these types of things like shiny silks, metallics, glitter, sequins, bedazzled embellishments are common during this time of year because it's like holiday season, so people want to have that type of stuff anyway. Like people are more likely to wear that type of stuff during the holiday season. Christmas and everything like that, New Year's. So I feel like it's also just a way to capitalize on that. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing that again this season. Of course, another thing that I have to talk about this season that's not gonna be a surprise is furs, cozy furs in particular, just like very things that look like you can like wrap up and like, just like probably sit in the house with. But lots of cozy furs and things like that. Is really interesting because again, a lot of them are oversized and stuff like that, but there was a lot of kind of like furs that were kind of on the inside, and like they would show, I mean, obviously you can see like with the collar and things like that it's like fur on the inside, but I feel like that wasn't a good way, like, because I feel like you don't always see that. Like sometimes if you do a leather jacket, it's just leather jacket, it doesn't always have like fur inside. But I liked that I saw a lot of furs, like kind of just on the interior, and like not only like the classic fur type of jacket, if that makes sense. So I like seeing that. Again, yeah, leather, that's a common thing. You're gonna see leather every single fall, winter. So again, trending, furs trending, not surprised. But yeah, I will say leather before was like, I feel like more of like a head to toe thing, whereas like now, I mean, I still, there were some looks like that, but I feel like now it's kind of in a more understated way as well. Definitely like maybe one leather piece, maybe not like a whole leather fit. But there were, like I said, there's a couple outliers. But yeah, that was something that was trending again, which is, you know, to be expected. Another trend that I want to mention is fringe. Fringe, again, like I said, has been trending. Some of the ones, a lot of these trends have been trending a lot. But fringe is another one that has been trending for a while. But I like seeing it how they're mixing with the other elements that are trending, like some of the cool colors and patterns that they're using. So yeah, fringe is trending once again. Not surprised, but I'm glad, I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? Something that I also liked seeing was velvet. I saw a lot of velvet on the runway, and like I feel like it should almost be like the whole like what I was talking about during like the holidays, like you have those like bright and like, you know, sparkly things that you want to have on the runway, or like leather during the fall. Like I feel like velvet should be like one of those like common sense type of things too, but I feel like you don't always see velvet, especially as like much as I saw this year or this season. I feel like I don't always see velvet like that. So I love velvet. I like velvet. I'm not the biggest fan of crushed velvet, but I like velvet, and I really like seeing it on their own way. I feel like velvet just like has a way of like elevating a look, and so I was really pleasantly surprised to see velvet so much, like the way that I did. So yeah, wear your velvet. If you have velvet stuff, please wear your velvet. I love seeing that. There were so many cool looks that they showed like on the runway with the velvet, even like playing with velvet, and like kind of like what I was talking about with the metallics, like metallics with patterns, but like even playing with velvet and patterns as well. That was something that I liked seeing. So yeah, I was really, again, pleasantly surprised to see so much velvet on the runway, and like not just like basic, like, oh, we have like a velvet, you know, maxi skirt or like a velvet top. Like it was like in an innovative way, and I like seeing that as well. Another thing that we saw that was trending is animal print. Didn't see it as heavily as I have in the past, but it was still something that I would say is trending. Um, Another thing also is like knitwear, like head to toe knitwear. So basically just whether that be like a maxi dress or be like a skirt and a top, or like pants and a top and then like a sweater, like a cardigan, like basically just knitwear head to toe, and it's so cozy. I love the vibe. Also, again, I feel like there's a lot of comfort types of things that are being brought into fashion, because I feel like, you know, it used to be style over comfort, which I feel like there's an element of that that's still like, you know, style over comfort. But I feel like we're trying to bring comfort back into the style, back into the fashion. And so people enjoy being comfortable. So I'm not surprised to see outfits like this. I feel like this would be a very popular airport outfit year round, to be honest, because the airport is freezing. But yeah, things like that. Just like I said, with the whole like lacy stuff and silk type of things, and you know, things that you would see like around the house, loungewear type stuff. I think it's that element that we had like super athletic or loungewear like in 2020 and 2021. I think we're still there, but like we're moving away from it being so casual and so like athletic, athleisure vibe, and more like fashion. Like I don't know how else to say it, but like just more fashionable and more interesting. When I was talking about velvet and some of those other textures, just texture in general, I feel like was a big thing that I saw on the runway. I feel like, you know, tweed, wool, like things like that, just like those cozy, like I feel like you don't see as many textures all the time during spring and summer because it's hot. So and like I mean there's ways that you can play with texture in those seasons, but I just feel like I saw a lot more texture this season that I liked to see. I feel like that's what just brings interest to fall and winter fashion. That's why so many people enjoy fall and winter fashion, because there's so like layering, being able to layer pieces, the texture of pieces, just the things that you don't always see year round. Those are the things that people look forward to and that they enjoy playing with during the fall and winter season. So yeah, lots of texture and things like that with clothing. One of the last things that I want to bring up is like the pencil skirt or like midi skirt. There was a lot of that as well. I feel like office wear is trending a lot. Like, I mean, of course we saw there was a lot of like suiting and like just relaxed, or some places were saying feminine but relaxed, like suiting and tailoring, which again has been trending for a long time now, so I'm not surprised again to see that. But in particular, there were an emphasis on pencil skirts and midi skirts, not always with tailoring and suiting and things like that, but some, you know, a good bit of it was, but some of it also was just like in a more, you know, relaxed type of way that can be styled for like evening or anything like that. So yeah, these are just a lot of interesting trends. Some things that we did see last season, or the like spring summer season, or the previous fall winter season, but a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. So I'm excited to see how people style these trends this year. If you guys feel like I missed out on any trends, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know which trend you plan on dabbling in this season. Which trends you probably won't be dabbling in this season. Subscribe if you guys are new here and join my little fashion family. I love doing fashion videos like this one, and I also do vlogs as well. So definitely stick around if you're enjoying this type of content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.